Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are discussing Red Circle. It's that film that everybody heard about in 2025. It was everywhere in terms of marketing. It was directed by Akay Mason and co-produced by Nora and Abdul Tijani-Ahmed. Now, if you said you'd never heard about Red Circle when it had its theatrical run in 2025, I wonder what rock you were living under. Because, like I said, it was everywhere. The marketing was something commendable, truly. And now Red Circle is available to watch on Kava worldwide. So yeah, more people will see it, and in the coming days, you'd hear a lot more about it in everywhere, social media, all over the place. And so let's talk about it because it's available to stream. You know the drill. This review will contain spoilers. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So the story in Red Circle follows these two friends, Venita and Fikayo Holloway, two friends from very different parts of the world in terms of financial strength. Fikayo is a Nepo baby, very rich, very wealthy girl, or at least her parents are wealthy. The 1% of the 1% of Lagos, if you think about it. Okay. And then Venita, on the other hand, is a poor girl. We are sort of alluded to understand that they met in camp, NYSC. It's not explicitly said, but connect one and two. And then it makes you understand, yeah, I mean, where else in the world would two people of this kind of nature meet themselves and become good friends, if not camp, where, those 3 weeks in camp where you are stripped of everything that makes you you, and then you're down to your bare self, and then you can connect or not connect, as the case may be. So these two are friends. We understand it. We spend a large chunk of the runtime fraternizing with them, how they enjoy their time and their company with each other and maintain their friendship. It was a good thing. Now, tragedy strikes when Venita, who is an aspiring musician with the gift of the voice, she sees what she's not supposed to see at the club where she was performing, or where she had performed or was about to leave. She saw a man get killed. She told her friend Fikayo when they met up the next day for lunch. And Fikayo is like, don't go back to that club. But, well, she's like, oh, yeah, I won't go back. And she thinks she's made her big break when next day or so, that very day after Fikayo just left, she gets a call telling her that, hey, we saw you perform and then would like to give you a record deal. I don't know. She didn't think anything, which is strange because, I mean, Lagos babe, Chapo should be babe. You should know that one and two doesn't add up together. But then she shows up there and is killed for what she saw or may not have seen. And that's basically the inciting incident and the conflict. It sets up the rest of the story because Fikayo, who is a journalist by training, unfortunately had been relegated to fashion and lifestyle content, which she is not a fan of at a company like Good Media, is spurred to want to find out the truth of what happened to Venita. Venita is her friend. Venita cannot just die like that. Venita cannot just be referred to as a prostitute by the police in passing, and then they're like, nah, because nobody cares, or because she's nobody would care to investigate. These are real life incidents or real life things that happen in Nigeria. And Fikayo is like, nah, not on my watch. So Fikayo takes it upon herself to get to the root of the matter. She must find out who killed Venita and bring them to justice. And that's the bulk of the film. So the thing with this journey is that, things are not as they seem in this world or in this part of Lagos, this fictional part of Lagos. And while it draws real life antecedent, it makes Lagos feel very small because let's just see the people behind Venita's death are much closer to home than Fikayo would like. And it just shows you, well, fiction at the end of the day, but the lessons are still there. That you don't know everybody truly. So it turns out that Fikayo's dad is at the top of a food chain of men of the underworld who are, I'm not exactly sure what these men are doing. Well, I think they deal in drugs, they kill people, but I'm not exactly explicitly sure what they are doing and why it's so nefarious that they had to kill Venita. So the film doesn't go deep into all those things. It just sort of like keeps the spotlight on Fikayo particularly, who is a naive Nepo baby. Fikayo is as naive as they come. And I think the whole story is just her own sort of coming of age or journey through naivety, or journey through being this Nepo baby who knows nothing about how the world works, to one who understands and is like, I'm not going to conform to the world, even if it means sacrificing my father. So yeah, that's basically the bulk of it. Because at the end of the day, she writes this expose, even though at the cost of her safety, or almost at the cost of her life, because her father's colleagues wanted her head for it. She She refuses to play ball and she sacrifices everything. Her father goes to jail, takes the fall for the family, and then there's this big twist, which we'll talk about very soon. I hope. So like I said, it's basically just we following Fikayo's journey. Yeah, sort of like a coming of age. And as protagonists go, Fikayo, come on, he need to wise up. We're just so naive, way too naive. Like things will be staring her in the face. Like I said, this fictional part of Lagos made Lagos feel pretty small. So everything was happening close to home. The company where she worked, Lagoon Media, was in on it. Sort of like on-off boyfriend at the office, Mustafa, played by Timini, was in on it. Our second love interest, Kalu, played by Tobi Bakre, his colleague, played by Ibrahim Suleiman, was in on it. Some people in the Zanga, where her friend Venita was from, Oshosko's 2IC, played by Mike Afolarin in a very hilarious role. But he wasn't actually funny, but yeah, that's by the way. He was sort of in on it with, and then sided with the rival gang led by a character played by Ruggedman. They were all in on it. So it made Lagos feel very small, like I said. But yeah, just a lot of things happening all around Fikayo, but she cannot just see the truth staring her in the face. Even when the truth comes and tells her, look at me, Fikayo, look. She was just way too naive for my liking. But then I guess it was part of the characterization and so that you understand where she's coming from and where she's going. The story leaves things on a cliffhanger, like I said. It clearly is setting up for a sequel, which I don't think is necessary, to be honest. Now, another spoiler warning, because this is like very deep spoilers. So I just feel like it's only fair to give you another warning. So, Fikayo's mother turns out to be the one at the top of the food chain and not her father. Her father is, figurehead. Fikayo's mother is the real dragon and was willing to sacrifice her daughter for the greater good. It was just way too dark and sort of like, you understand in a sense because her mother, played by Bukky Wright, throughout the movie was shown to be this very cold stone. I don't want to say the B word, but yeah, we get it. So the mom had this very snobbish attitude that I was like, come on, this woman is a snob. The person who is serving you food, you're looking at the person. And I'm like, this person can poison you. She goes to a party and then somebody who is changing money or something comes close to her where she and her daughter seated side by side. And then the woman is like, very snobbish woman. That was my first impression of her. But never did I think that something was really off to the point where she was the one, the mastermind, the chairman, as they put it. Which was something, I guess. Twist for the sake of it. Twist that worked. Yeah. I think there was enough breadcrumbs here and there to make it work. But twist enough to want me to want to see a sequel? I don't think so. Because Fikayo's, in my opinion, Fikayo's mission was satisfied, was successful. She set out to bring people who killed Venita to justice, and she did. Her dad is in prison. Her dad is as guilty as her dad had so much blood in his hands. Blood so deep that everybody the people who literally killed Venita, like who did the killing themselves, he wasted all of them because the police came too close to them. That's how bad man he is. I think Fikayo was successful in her journey. I think she was. So there's no need for a sequel. I don't want to see what happens between mother and daughter. I don't care. Honestly, I don't think it's enough for a sequel that follows that path. But yeah, I might be wrong. So in case you guys at Rixel Studios decide to do the Red Cycle Part 2, please prove me wrong. And give me a deep story I would enjoy. Now, did I enjoy Red Cycle? I think you can tell already that I did. I thought it was a good film. I think it was deserving of all the praises that it got last year. Yes, very much deserving. It's good to see new voices do new things and do them well. Simple. It's not a deep story, but it's a well-told one. Yes. At about 2 hours runtime, it was a well-told one. I did not feel bored. Yes, it could have done with maybe a bit of trimming here and there, but for what we got, it was still good. Honestly, I don't think, don't change anything. I'm fine with it. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Red Cycle. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have you seen it? Have you not seen it? Would you see it? Whatever the case may be, let me hear it in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.